Hey Tom, it's Friday. It's March 13th. We're at this place on Wassising or whatever that is up in Belleville. So I'm just starting on the top floor because I was just on the roof. The other video just shows you what was going on with the roof. Everything over here, aside just from looking a little dirty and messy, which can be cleaned up, it looks like everything would be fine and it would pass. A lot of times the guys missed that little piece down there, but they got it. So it kind of tells me professional did that. You can also tell professionals did these, like when they do their piping, they're using the right kind of sweeps right there, and their primer is pretty neat, and they're using the right kind of straps. So the bathrooms here, we don't have power, the water's not on. It's always nice to have an exhaust fan in here, but technically by code you actually don't think you need them because there's no shower or anything in here, but it's just a nice feature. In here, up here at least, they put the return on the railing, which you're supposed to, but you're probably gonna have somebody call you out because they should have maybe built like a little 3 foot, a little more than that, like 42-inch knee wall right here to prevent anybody from going that way and falling down. The roof stuff was talked on the other video. The issue you're gonna have here is this smoke alarm. These are the old style ones where they have the batteries to replace. They need to be 10-year battery sealed smoke alarms now by code. They just cost a lot more money, even for the... Sorry, I'm just getting that cover back on. Even for the smoke alarms. So, to do all of them in this house, I haven't count how many they are. But, I don't know, it'd be a couple $100. Let's go to the stairs before I comment on this real quick. Okay, I guess that's kind of okay. So these are the doors into the apartment. Because they have another entrance door downstairs, so this kind of is like separate just for this apartment. What would have been maybe a better thing to do is if they put the door here, so therefore when you walk in you could just go upstairs and you have your finished attic. But either which way, even if it's this door or the door behind downstairs, none of these doors are fire rated. The inspector's gonna look for a fire rated sticker right here, or it's more like a plaque. It would need to at least be a 20-minute rated fire door. This is just a metal door. It does not count as fire rated. They might ask you for the automatic door closers, and you may actually have to put like a little chain lock up in here. Not so much really anything to worry about here. I mean, they have the laminate down. These bedrooms, I mean, you can kind of feel the floor when you're walking around. It's not as bad as on the first floor. I can tell the water's not on because it stinks really bad in here. I'm going to assume the exhaust fan is ducted to the exterior. I didn't confirm that. It would have been nice if the light fixture was centered, but it is what it is. You're going to run into an issue with the window in the bathroom because it is not a it's not a temper glass window. So the inspector's going to catch you on that. They're all new windows. So, I don't know why we have like all the extra paint, and they spray painted the window upstairs. That stuff can be kind of taken off. I'm going to assume that, it'll be fine that way. Never mind. So we'll assume that everything kind of works out over there. This is the back door. This one will have to be fire rated as well. And you'll see there's, what's this? No, okay, that's not a sticker because it'll be a plaque, but it would be something like this that would show that it's 20-minute fire rated. You notice on the railings they have the returns, which is correct, what you need here. But going down to the basement, they didn't put the returns here, and there's no return down there. Again, smoke alarm is incorrect. This door is not fire rated. Over here when you're walking, unfortunately you're not going to see this in the video, but I can tell like right here, I'm at a high spot and it dips down. You might even be able to actually see this in the trim. It kind of dips over there. And you'll, if you could kind of see, it dips right here. So it's very wavy walking through. Honestly, there's not much you're gonna do about that. Same situation upstairs, you're gonna need a tempered glass window. Maybe they did this light fixture in the center of the place on purpose, but it's gonna look kind of silly once you put your mirror up there that it's not centered. It is what it is. So I mean, aside from here, I mean, it's the same thing as everywhere else before. You just have the fire rated doors. I mean, you got stupid stuff. Just got to clean up the outlets. At least all the outlets appear to be tamper resistant. So this is just hard tile. Seems to be okay. You know, all the emergency lights are working. All right, so we're gonna walk down to the basement real quick. There's really not much you're gonna do about this floor. Like I said, I was thinking that as I'm walking over it. You know what, hold on. Let me go outside for a second. So the railings look good here. I'm gonna assume that they pulled up the oil tank, because you can see the 3/4 crushed gravel there. But they got to get rid of all that debris and crap rocks. I don't know why they didn't finish or seal any of this stuff here. This will be the side, so we just got to get rid of some debris. And it's like they just rolled some of the paint over here. But issue you're going to have, no big deal. You got to fill all those. When you get your final inspection, this whip is going to be an issue, because that's too long. They're going to say if someone comes over here that they can trip. So this should get shortened. The inspector's going to do just like this one. Because watch, imagine, you know. So that's too long. You still got to seal the holes over there. Even though you have these side little risers here, you have too many steps not to have a railing in the front here. They're gonna call you out on that. Your gutters, no big deal, just having another little extension. But this is where you see the original foundation wall. This was because there was a porch above this. But this front foundation wall, I mean, I can literally stick my whole hand in there, which that's the problem. So something's separating there, and that's why I was explaining the email. It's not it's not helpful that we're dumping water all in here. But this is nothing that happened in the last month or two. I mean, this is going on years and years. The siding looks good. It was done by a professional, at least. Looks nice. Let me get back to this basement now. You're missing a screen on that window. But you know what? I think there's a screen in the back here. Maybe that's the screen for that window. All right, so here's the silly part. This is the steps going down. Number one, you don't have a rail, and that's okay. Maybe they're not done. But this frame on this door, I mean, it's right against the slab there. And what's happening is there's not a drain down here, but there's a drain inside the basement, which is, again, silly, but that's the way the house is built. But the bottom line is this should be like a solid metal door. It doesn't have to be fire rated. But every time it rains now, because there's no covering here, you'll see the bottom of this door already starting to get saturated and wet. All that's going to do is expand, it's going to crack, and it's going to break. That door won't open in a month. Let alone if we get a big pile of snow here, which, I mean, we got no snow at all this season. And that sucks because I like the snow. But if you get a good foot of snow down here, it's just going to sit there and rot that door. That door should not have been put there. I don't know how this town is going to be with driveways. I mean, it's not the worst driveway in the world. So hopefully they just bust your chops on that. All right, so we were going down to the basement. Okay. So this is the drain. But you can kind of, you can already see the light through that door. So that thing is just going to get rotted away. When you first come down, you have this heat supply. But you notice like all the looks like somebody, I don't know, took a Sawzall to that. I don't know what the deal is with that. Yes, I'm framing, like if you see this one here, there's no way you're gonna see this on the video, but it is dropped down, starting to fall. The reason being is this part over here. This is all termite damaged. See? That's the support. So if you don't do something with that, inspectors are gonna see it, and you can see all that termite damage there. So you really wanna cover that before some inspector gets here. But if I'm seeing it, they're gonna see it. The other issue is we had the floor painted in the garage. Like, why did they not just remove these other little bit of tiles? Because these are the 8x8 asbestos tiles. So if that gets called out like a home inspection, they're gonna wanna see that certified that it was removed properly, which means it's gonna cost you more money. And they have some over here and some over here. So it's like, what was the point of painting this without removing those? That, I'm not sure. I'm not really looking at the windows, worrying about those. The heating system is nice. When you have air conditioning, the trunk like this is supposed to be wrapped. They're using the good insulation. So this was done really nicely. And what you can see here is when they use this, the paste, that's a nice way of sealing these. So they're using this, plus the insulation. They have the right straps on it. The heating was done pretty nice. This is just the bathroom. So I'm not sure exactly what's supposed to be going on here. They have an auto vent, which they're doing the right thing because that vent's gonna have to be exposed. Okay. When they painted the old oil lines, but when they took the tank out, why didn't you just remove these? And you could have sealed up the concrete a little bit before we painted, so you wouldn't notice all that stuff. Not the end of the world. You got to do the seals around all the window for insulation. It's just a spray foam will be fine. The electric panels look good. You know, not the neatest up in the wires, but everything else looks fine. They labeled it, so we'll just assume that it's done right. That is not a good water meter, so clearly got to get a new water meter in here. So this is the adjustable lolly column they put in, because you see right up here that vertical crack. That's where the beam was starting to go. Also, this was a full gut renovation, so the town is probably going to want to see, and this actually should be on your permits, that they're going to want this ceiling possibly 5/8 sheetrocked. If they don't, and actually may have to be insulated. To tell you the truth, this is an unfinished basement. But at a minimum, I know they're going to ask you to fire rate this the main girder, because this is what's going to support the house. It's pretty easy. You just get 5/8 sheetrock, put on both sides, spackle it. Any gaps, you just fill with the fire foam or fire caulk. It's not a big deal. This is the part where we have to redo the framing. I understand why we have to do it. I could already see that this part of the floor is just dropped. I don't know if that gives you any better perspective, but it's basically the framing is going like this. The reason being is because all these floor joists are attached to this one beam, so that the weight of all this floor is deflected onto this one beam and onto this other. When you're doing that, these beams would have to be doubled up, and because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, you may even have to have done like a triple here, and then you could have done this with the right brackets. But at this point, it'd be easier just to go all the way across. The person that did the inspection report would be right about the location of the wires. So these wires are okay. This one is gonna be too low. It's a little bit nitpicking, to be honest with you. But like that one is pretty low. That one's too low. I mean, is your house gonna fall apart because of it? No, but from a code perspective, the inspector is absolutely right. Over here, I'm suspect to think that the actual licensed plumber did all this stuff, or he had his guys here and left them, or the person who did this job used to work for a plumber or works for a plumber, because it's pretty close to done right. A couple issues. It is not a code, it's just a smart thing to do. You should really never have the hot water heater sitting on the concrete floor. There's just moisture there. It's going to rot out these bottoms over years. Additionally, you can't have PEX within 6 inches of the vent pipe. So see how like this side is copper? Even though it's up here, this should have been extended so that your your PEX starts somewhere up here. This should have been a long rise of copper to here, and then it could have been PEX up here. That's number one. Number two is they have all these extra little holes here. Simple fix. I mean, just get your aluminum foil tape and wrap it. Same issue over here. You have the PEX line way too close to the vent pipe. Additionally, it's an easy fix, but this pipe right here, if you can see, it's back pitched. I mean, all you got to do is take this piece off, cut a little bit, and you'll drop it. They probably made these marks here and they miscut it, because if you cut to this mark, then that'll put that at a fine pitch. Also, though, when you're doing this, they didn't seal around the chimney, but then also leaving this side open. Like, what would be the point of this? So you want to make sure. Let's look while we're open. Yeah, I can see a big drip. I don't think you can see in here. Oh, there you go. But this stuff should be cleaned out. I mean, you have leaves that are already in there. That's because you don't have a cap on the top. Also, it smells like gas over here. And the reason being is you can tell someone tightened this one because they already put the Teflon on there. So that's nice and tight. This one, and look, I could just pull this off myself. Now that's not a big deal because at least they have the gas turned off. So they have the gas switch off. But this one, the gas is on, and this is the sediment trap. So look, now gas is coming out. So this is, here, I'll do you guys a favor. I'll tighten this as much as I can. So you can smell that, and look, the cap wasn't even tightened. But this is a live system. That definitely should not be. So when I just opened that, that's it. This is a smoke and carbon alarm. It's the wrong kind again. But what I'm not seeing down here is a fire alarm. So those are smoke alarms. But usually you see the fire alarm coming around here somewhere. I don't know what your intentions are with the ceilings. It'd definitely be better just to cover everything up and seal it. So this would have to be jacked up anyway, just to get it more level. It's really hard to deal with the main girder beams, but it does go down and then it goes up and it's straight. I think this side over here as well had an issue. And I think I saw it from standing back. Yeah. So it's going straight, but then it right over here really goes up, and then it comes back down, and then it goes back up again. So it's like we have a little weight deflection coming down here, and where they put that other column in. So this is not going to work. Actually, it looks like they did cut out the concrete here. I mean, that's a really big footing. I didn't think it was gonna be that big. It should only be like 24 by 24 inches, so 2 feet by 2 feet. That's like 3 by 3 or 4 by 4. 12 inches down the rebar. But should have had a solid post like that versus one of these adjustable ones. Let me see if they did this. Yeah, it looks like they did you can tell they cut the concrete out here, so let's just assume that footing was done and was done right. So what I'm going to assume that they're doing with this is they are just going to keep tightening it and adjusting it a little bit at a time, come back and they're going to raise it up, come back a couple days later, raise it up again, because you don't want to lift that all up at the same time. Then once it's lifted, support it, and then maybe put a solid column in there. All right, I think that's pretty much it. You just got to make sure, you see how the insulation, all these exterior bays are going to have to be insulated. Yeah, and like all up in there should have been a fire rate, like fire caulked in there. I mean, I hope they have all their rough inspections here. All right, that's it.